Hello today, my name's Brent Grafton. My wife and I own Green Tree Plastics. Frequently, children ask us, how do we make their caps and the benches? One of the things that we do first, and that's why it's so important that you follow the list that we've given you on what is acceptable and what is not. It's very important that we not have metal among the caps. It's important that we not have too much paper among the caps. And it's also important what kind of caps and lids that you bring to us. This is what we're going to do with your caps. They come to us like this, and then we send them through a very big machine and we grind them up down to this consistency. Now this plastic is an insulator. If we were to take this material and put it on a pot on the stove and put a fire underneath it, the only thing that melts is what's actually touching the metal. So we cannot melt plastic like you would heat up soup, because the heat doesn't actually transfer all the way through the plastic. It just stays with what is being heated. So this is the device that we use to melt your plastic. This is a extruder screw. It comes inside of a very big steel barrel. This is a small one. We use bigger ones. And what we do is that we have a cone that feeds this material down into the screw right here. So it's inside of a big barrel. This is turning. And if you look here closely, you can see that each time we go to a new flight, this center shaft gets bigger. So by the time we get down here, this is about 20% of the volume that's starting here. So what we're doing, the way we're melting the plastic is that we're using friction, like this. You rub your hands together like this long enough, you feel it start to heat up. Well, that's what's happening when we're giving the plastic a smaller and smaller and smaller space, is that we're forcing the molecules to try and occupy the same space. If they don't like it, they get mad, they get hot, they move, they melt. So by the time we get here, the plastic's actually melted. Now when we take this mix of plastic and run it through this system, it comes out gray. This is what it looks like when it comes out on the ground. And as you can see, that gray has a little bit of a tint to it. Well, when you bring us your caps, if you have a lot of blue caps, you come up with the gray that kind of has a blue tint to it. If you have a lot more orange caps, you come up with a gray that has kind of an orange hue to it. So all of the colors that we have are coming out of that mix, and later I'll have a talk that will tell you how we add pigments to make those colors, but all those colors we start with some form of gray. Then once the material comes out of this machine, it goes into a mold. The mold then is, it's a cavity mold. That mold is filled up with the plastic under pressure, and then we allow that material to cool, and just as you can see, it sets in a shape. Whatever shape that we have inside of the mold is what the product ends up. And as you can see on the back wall here, we have a lot of different molds that we have experimented with, so that there is a great diversity possible of what kinds of products that we can make.